Alright. Well, I got my 90 that I was needed. And this whole design of this turbo kit was just an eyeball up. I didn't really like measure and fit anything. I just kind of had a plan and started building from that. But I wanted you guys to see how close I got. I didn't cut the final pipe because I didn't know where the merge would be, so I just left it alone. But let's check this thing out. It's actually pretty funny. So that's the pipe I needed, and then I'm coming off the truck here, off the merge. Once that's welded on, I need to drop this pipe just about that much, and that completes the hot side. I got literally not even an inch off from eyeballing it and not knowing where this was going to end up. So it's not too bad. I'll measure this, cut this pipe down, do some final fitting, but I should have this hot side completely tacked. I might actually have it completely welded in the next day or so. I don't know how much time I'll have to mess with it today and tomorrow, being Father's Day. But pretty dang awesome. So if you guys want to see this kit, this is an S10, which everyone swears that it's impossible to run down and forward headers in an S10 for a turbo swap. All these headers are uncut, untouched. Only thing I did was shorten the actual header and then tack them up. Shortened that one and tacked it. And then the merge comes all the way down, merges right there into an even merge. And then this pipe will come over off of that, connect that 90 to the turbo, and at the same time this also feeds over to the 2.5 inch wastegate, and I'm probably going to run the wastegate drop. Will come out down there and aim it out like a teardrop just under the air dam so it doesn't melt it, but can still get the exhaust out. So that's the whole design of the turbo kit. We used a shorty gearbox. Was the only way to get the steering the way I needed it. I cut the firewall and moved the column over. Haven't smoothed it yet, it's just all mock up, but I moved it over. Probably 1.5 inches, but the header is completely free of it, and the only place it's even touching is on this support rod, which that header will get a dent right there. And I'm also grinding the frame to move that support rod more over towards the arm. And once it's over towards the arm, I had to get it off the header some more. Then I'll weld that up final. But that's how the steering's going to be. So it's a Jeep top with the vibration shaft, 1 inch to 3/4 double D. And this shaft is 36 spline because it's shortened. If you got a long manual 525 box, They're 30 spline. This is a 36 because it's a 1-inch, or 36 3/4 spline. It's a full round. But that's the steering. This header's untouched. We didn't cut anything. We didn't modify it other than that length. So hopefully, if I get some time and don't fall on my butt, I'll get that mocked up, cut that pipe down, that 1-inch, angle it so everything's matching perfect. And then this thing's gonna be ready to weld up solid. So stay tuned, this thing's about to have a complete turbo kit. It's gonna be awesome. I just wanted you guys to see too how the wastegate is gonna sit. So the merge comes right off of that. It'll feed over to the wastegate and then down. Just figured y'all to see it before I weld it. Well, it's Father's Day, so I'm being in father mode with this punk, and we're gonna work on his Blazer. Last time we left you, I showed you my little 90 I ordered, and we're gonna get all these pipes fitted today. So yeah, we got to notch that other pipe and bring it down. This one. Actually, don't have to bring it down much, do we? It's more just the angle. Yeah. Once we cut the angle. See, once you lift it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go down some.
Yeah. But see the angle on the bottom? That's what we have to figure out. Get me. See what we're gonna have to do. Come here, Garrett. So 7/8 up. I need that protractor. Where? It's in a box over there. That's it.
It's on the floor.
5 degrees. Because you're, see your pipe over here?
Yeah.
See how this is the low point
Uh-huh.
and this is the high point? So I set your pipe on there and marked it. See how it's straight up and down now?
Yep.
That's what we needed to make it line up. It needed to be straight up and down so it would be over this way. Now, with just a little bit of fitting, we can make this line up. So now here, we got that angle. We need this to come over. How much more do you think?
I would say about almost half, close to half an inch. There's a measuring tape over here.
Half inch?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it half an inch? That's what it said?
Fat middle one.
Got half inch. So what we got to do is one, cut this one thing I can do is cut this at more of an angle.
What, bottom?
Yeah. To get it more.
Or couldn't you just cut a little bit off this end?
You can.
Because then you can cut the end off and then get the piece to fit perfectly, 90 perfectly. It should work.
The problem with this, there's no way to put it in the bandsaw to cut it. Alright, getting ready to weld up the wastegate flange for the wastegate pipe. Then I got to weld the merge in onto the 90 of the merge pipe before I can final tack the 90s on, because once I get the 90s tacked, I don't want to come back and start welding on the wastegate. Kind of want that done first, so I'm going to knock it out real quick and then go on to finishing the final few tacks. But everything's fitted and shouldn't be a couple more minutes today and we'll have the whole system tacked and ready to go. Not too bad. So I got the wastegate mount final welded. It is not perfect, and I am not a welder, so there you go. But it ain't gonna leak, and I don't feel like I put too much heat in the flange or the pipe. It seems to be pretty even all the way around, so I'll clean that up, and then once it cools off I can tack it up to this pipe and try to get some weld on it. And then once that's done, we can do the final welding with this 90 to the kit. And then once all the kit's tacked, I can break it down and start putting it back together, all in pieces. But didn't turn out too bad. I could probably smooth that little runt out right there real quick, but I'm not too worried about it. Here we go. Well, there's two. I had a lot of gaps to fill in on the fitting of the 2.5 inch into the 3 inch. First time I've ever done it. This is my first stainless ever welds. I know they're not perfect, but they'll hold. So figured letting this finish cooling, and then we're gonna tack it up in the truck. So if you want to see how it kind of sits, it's going to be like that. And then his wastegate will dump down. I was going to go out the fender, but I'm actually just going to aim it straight down. And the dump will be just straight down to the ground. And I'll make a bracket that comes off of the crossover we made. And the crossover bracket will hold the dump so it doesn't actually rotate, because wastegates do have enough force to spin. So we're going to finish letting that cool, and then we'll go ahead and tack up the rest of the system. And once we get it tacked up, we can start running some beads around everything and making sure it's not going to move. Once everything's done, we can take it apart, finish weld everything, and turbo kit for the hard stuff is pretty much done. Then all we got to do is down pipe and some aluminum welding. I don't have to weld the aluminum, I could just weld it and put beads on it. But if I'm in the process of learning how to do everything, I might as well learn how to do aluminum too. So we're going to weld up some aluminum, and that's that. I got to get one tight 90 on the aluminum pipe for the turbo to come off and go up to the carb, but that ain't no big thing. I can get that at Jegs. Other than that, it's coming together. I don't know how much more I'm going to do today, being Father's Day. I kind of want to go in and relax a little, but I still kind of make good headway, so I don't know what I want to do. Weaves for days. Got a little undercut, but guys, I'm not even joking. This is like my second time ever stainless and TIG. I'm not a welder. I've never welded. I just bought the TIG to teach myself to weld and teach Garrett to weld, but I feel like that's pretty dang good. Alright, thanks. Alright, well, we've got the turbo kit. Main hot side is tacked up. Got plenty of room between the wastegate, pulleys, and belts. And I did that to angle it away from the radiator. Now this is all going to be wrapped as well. So Got a lot of finish welding to do. I got to weld on flanges, so this thing's gonna be on and off a few times just to make sure it's maintaining the shape. But I tried to put enough tacks on everything to have it not move on us. But I wanted to show you guys in this video, since this was the mock-up of the turbo kit, before we finally weld it. But it's going to be pretty sweet. The wastegate looks like it's pushed not at a perpendicular. See how it's pushed back? But if you look where the downpipe is, straight down is how the wastegate's going to go. So I'm gonna plumb that right down beside that header, straight down, and that's actually positioned so that it will fire straight down. I don't have a straight piece of exhaust to show you. I don't have anything probably even remotely close.
It'd probably go down and then go where the sway bar is.
So that gives you an idea of how the angle is.
There's still a lot of room for the wastegate too.
But basically straight down. This pipe is deceiving because it's got a bend in it, but straight down we'll put it right beside this exhaust like this. So it'll be sitting, you know, out that down straight. And I'll keep it up high enough so it's not in the way of the jack. And that'll be the dump. Wastegate done. 60 millimeter. Alright. It's time to break this puppy down and have fun welding, Garrett. So we're just going to show you guys, this is the clearance from the kit to the radiator. That T-bolt clamp down there is actually under the radiator. It's not touching it. But everything's about the same, 1.5 inches off the radiator. So nothing's going to be touching nothing. Got plenty of room on our outlet. It's going to curve down. I'm swapping that out for a 90 on the water neck. So the water hose would be more like a small block Chevy and less like an LS straight out. So other than that, this kit's ready for welding. So this isn't even a tight radius 90. This is just a 90 that's coming off the hat. But you can see how much more clearance the aluminum pipe will have. And then that's going to be a tight radius 90 into the hat. Or vice versa, tight radius here, gradual radius into the hat most likely. But plenty of room for eyeball measurements.